MT-03 people, welcome back. This is Bart. We had the chance to outfit this MT-03 with our WORX performance pack in the last episode. I hope you guys caught that and enjoyed it. Now we get to reap the benefits of what we installed on the bike. But before going out there and riding the wheels off, we wanted to take it back to the dyno. And behind me, you can see the results of our dyno test. We actually wanted to perform the tests on the dyno with the Yosh exhaust version of our race pack. And also, as you can see here, we have the Graves exhaust mounted. A lot of people have been asking about this exhaust and its performance with our pack. So we just wanted to put some numbers behind it and show the data. Now, a lot of the people out there have been asking, what is the horsepower of this bike? That is a very loaded question. There is no one good answer. I've covered this in many videos, and there are many guys wiser than me out there in YouTube space that explain how these numbers work, and it's really the entire graph that you have to look at to see the performance increase versus just a number. I will leave that topic alone for now. You can watch our other videos and those other guys' videos to get more gist of what this means. I will go through what we found with our stock baselines, which you see here in red. We have a number of different points I will be showing you. I will just be illustrating different segments of the RPM range. Then we have in blue the Yosh performance, Yosh WORX pack version performance, and then in green we have the Graves. Now the Graves and the Yosh are not vastly different in the peak number. There is a slight little area here that I will talk about a little bit later. I really just want to compare both of the WORX pack performance graphs to the stock graph. So let's go through that. Let me get the cursor off. All right, so the lower curves here, you will see are torque, and the upper curves are horsepower. First and foremost, like most of you know, our performance pack increases the RPM range. So here you'll see the stock version cut off just after 12,000 RPMs, and ours goes all the way to 13,000, giving you an extra segment of usable performance from the motor. In the horsepower curve of the stock, you see pretty much everywhere from the bottom to the top that there is a vast difference in the actual horsepower numbers. Let's say you're coming off a corner right around 8,000 RPMs. The stock version will give you just about 30 horsepower, whereas with our WORX pack, you're over 3 horsepower more right there. And in torque terms, you have just under 20 foot-pounds of torque from the stock configuration, whereas you're right around 22, 2 extra foot-pounds of torque. That's a huge percentage number over the stock version. So coming off a corner, this will give you a lot more oomph to leave that corner. And this is where the magic of this performance package comes in. There are certain areas where our WORX pack does not exceed the original OEM values by much. Here you'll see, right around under 2 horsepower and maybe just about a foot-pound of torque more. But those are very narrow areas, and where you really take advantage of the WORX pack is here in this segment, and then also here and up above the OEM red line. Now you see here the vastness of the difference between this OEM curve and our WORX pack curves. This is really the meat of what I've been talking about here in the horsepower range, output, and also the torque output. The stock configuration plateaus from just after 9,000 RPMs, let's call it 9.5. It plateaus to just about 11, and then it starts falling off and falls on its face right around red line. So if you were to shift from red line and let's say get right about in here in the consecutive gear, then you're really on a plateau, and it doesn't really give you much continuing power to keep going faster. Now, you look up above here, The difference in horsepower up here is staggering. It's around 9 horsepower, right around 11 and just below 12,000 RPMs. So if you were to shift from close to red line and you come back to right around 11, 10 and a half, then you have this long pulling effect from the horsepower, and the torque doesn't even drop off that much. So cumulatively, if you were to integrate the area under the curve of each one of these, you would notice that the difference between the WORX pack configurations and the stock is really just a huge number. And if you take the percentage change, I believe we quoted something like 22% more usable energy. So this is really how we like to indicate what the horsepower of the bike is. It's not one area, it's not the peak number. Peak number doesn't matter all that much if it falls off. So I think you guys will enjoy looking over this data and maybe post some nice, fun questions that we could answer in the comment feed below. For now, I just want to compare the Graves to the Yosh. Now this demonstrates that the Graves configuration, the Graves exhaust configuration, gives us a little bit more of a broader effect here, especially from here to here. What is that? We have about 9,000 RPMs to 10 and a half-ish. We do get a little bit more horsepower, also a slight bump in torque. I sort of predicted this because this exhaust has a much longer run of plumbing from the header primaries to the end of the canister. Now this will have an effect on the work generated on the pistons because the gases will continue to expand against the piston as the exhaust gas flows out. Some people call it back pressure. I don't really agree with calling it back pressure. It is just the additional work that we can extract from the gases that are already leaving the exhaust, leaving the head, but still working on that piston. So this was sort of predicted. It is a very nicely designed exhaust. It is very well executed. It's a little bit more expensive, but it's also a lot lighter than the Yosh. So we carry both of them. We back both of them. They're both very good, but the performance is really very similar, except for this range from 9 to 10 and a half-ish, and then this lower range down here from like 5.5 to 8,000 RPMs. You do have a slight bit more torque. Let's see. Yeah, about just under a half a foot-pound. That is pretty significant. And also you have a bump in horsepower, half a horsepower-ish. Now, I do want to note that these are curves representative of the stable condition curves that were kicked out. These were probably the best ones that I saw from this dyno experiment. They varied quite a bit, but once I got to steady state on all of these configurations, I basically just picked the best runs that made sense, not really obscuring any data, just going for what makes sense and also represents the top numbers that I found. All of these experiments were performed in similar conditions on the same bike, just with OEM components versus our WORX pack components. So I consider this experiment to be valid, and I conclude that we have one badass package, or actually two, if you consider the different exhausts available to you. All right, that's pretty much all I can say about this. I don't want to go too in depth. We did have a very, very long explanation in our WORX pack presentation about how this works and what it all does. So if you haven't seen that yet, check it out. The presentation is on R3s, but it's essentially the same bike with a slightly different body position and body components. Next, took it upon myself to have some fun. I took this bike to Jennings GP for a day of fun. I strapped on some camera so I could show you guys what I experienced. And boy, let me tell you, this bike woke up. In first gear, you snap the throttle open and it goes up. Now I do have one tooth up in the back with the rest of the drive components being stock. I will also be trying in the next trip out, one tooth down in the front, an additional tooth up in the back, making the sprocket 45 tooth in the rear. So we'll see what that does. I did actually notice that at Jennings, I was not geared properly. I was not using 6th gear at all, but I was tacking out 5th gear on the back straight. So I can actually stand to use that shorter gearing and actually make use of that 6th gear. I had a lot of fun. I played around with the suspension variables. I had to change some geometry variables. Last time I had this bike out was at a very tight track in Bushnell, and what I set it at was just not working for me at Jennings. It was twitchy, it was just terrible. So I do have a longer wheelbase on it now, that helped, and I worked most of the day trying to calm down the geometry parameters to work with me. Now, if you watch the video, you'll see me enter corners a little twitchy at certain times. I'm still not fully comfortable with this bike. I'll throw it over and be like, my riding position's all like, feel like I'm riding a Harley maybe. Whereas I'm really used to sport bikes where I'm really tucked in, my elbows against my knee, and I can really flow with the bike. This bike's a little wonky for me, but I still made good use of it. And I think that I captured some cool video for you guys to enjoy. So let's go and check that out now.